During the 2020 lockdowns, Kelly and I made this podcast to talk about the movies that we love while bored at home. We tried so many different ways to record and edit, but found it difficult and we experienced some bad sound quality until we found Zencaster. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high quality podcast right away. Record studio quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencaster's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. So go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use our code SYTYI, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Hey guys, you've heard us talk about how we want to live our lives in balance with our hectic work lives to getting a workout in and treating our bodies better. I've been changing my routine up at the gym and getting myself to eat better. And one thing I'm adding is liquid IV. In one stick, I'm getting 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than if I drank water alone. It's great for those tough workouts where I need an extra boost or when I'm feeling a little run down after a long day at work. I love how on the go this packaging is. I throw a few in my gym or my work bag and it takes up zero space. And the taste is amazing. Since it's summertime, I'm reaching more for strawberry lemonade. And with other great summer flavors like watermelon and guava, there's something for everyone. And it's not just the flavor that will have you grabbing for more. Like I said, Liquid IV contains 5 essential vitamins like B3, B5, B6, and B12, and vitamin C. And it's made with premium ingredients. So, if you want to up your hydration game this summer, get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use our code SYTYI at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using our code SYTYI at liquidiv.com.
Hey, we're back. We had to just restart recording. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, how are you doing?
So we might have to start from the beginning, even though we were like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How
Let's
amazing.
let's get down to the chase. How was your week, Kelly?
It was great. I got to see Doja Cat and I got a surprise performance by Doji.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Love her.
when she announced her tour, Dochi was only supposed to be for a certain amount of shows, and she wasn't listed for the show that Jordan and I were going to go to. But she was there. So I got to experience her, what was it called? It was Swamp something. It's kind of funny.
Okay.
But concert was great. We got a booty cam for Dochi for like 30 seconds of her just shaking ass. I was like, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
This is chaotic. It's great. uh Doja Cat, she like killed it. She had fire on her stage. She had little fireworks going off. Great light show.
Yeah.
Um
Very, very Beyonce-esque.
Very Beyonce-esque. Yeah, she had visuals that were like church girl. And I was like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Beyonce, I see you." But yeah, I loved the show. I got home kind of late and it was a school night, so I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of stressed and I was tired the next day at work, but we made it. We got through it. We'll do anything for Doja Cat. Um, the strike is over.
The strike is
Rejoice,
over. Over.
rejoice.
So that's why I'm saying
Um,
go watch the Marvels.
yes, this has been your PSA to go watch the Marvels.
Go watch the
Um,
Marvels. And then I
because
will be
apparently no
having,
one's seeing it.
yeah, go see
Oh,
it.
can I just tell you the theater that we're gonna go see it today? The theater that we're going to, it's empty. We're the only people who have bought tickets for this showing, and we're going in a couple of hours.
Weird.
Yeah,
My I've never been in an empty theater, if I'm being honest,
really,
but I live in California and Californians love to go to the movies.
that is true.
So, I don't know. And you would think out there they would love to go to the movies because it's so incredibly hot all the time. But
No, but see, here's the thing. A lot of people, I feel like, buy the tickets when they get to the theater. They don't go online.
ew, that's weird.
It's very weird.
In a
Because,
world where you have to pick your seat now, why are
right,
you not buying your ticket early?
right. And especially with big movies like this, you would expect people to pre order or pre buy. But
That's
yeah, no,
insane.
like whenever we go to the theater, if it's like a bigger movie, you'll see lines of people out front buying their tickets. And I'm like, this is actually insane.
Are y'all living in
So
like
yeah,
2007?
I guess
What?
other people are,
That's
if I'm being
insane.
quite honest. But
I
yeah,
haven't stood
so
at a
either,
box office line in years.
yeah, I think the last time I did, it was like,
Year,
I
year.
think it was like
Like
2018 the last time I did.
my sister was like 7, maybe not
Oh,
even that
yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I wasn't. I feel like I was in high school, maybe not even in high school. The
Yeah.
last time we stood in line to
To get
buy
a
ticket.
ticket. Yeah. And it's not like it's new or anything. Fandango's been doing online ticketing for a very long time.
Yeah, that's insane. Movie
Yeah.
phone
So,
for all you
right.
old heads. Movie phone.
But yeah, so either the theater's gonna be empty and it'll be me, my brother, and my mom, or it'll be like full when we get there because people are buying their tickets when they arrive. So
I will
I'll let you
say,
know, but
I
it's weird.
I will say my I saw it twice. My none of my showings were like full.
Mm-mm.
So just so you know, but
Yeah.
everyone who was in there had a good time. So I don't know why the box office is so low.
Oh, it's very low for some reason,
Yeah,
but everyone's saying it's so good. So
everyone is saying it's good, but somehow the money isn't coming in, and I'm so confused.
it's confusing. Yeah. But yeah. How was your week, Jordan?
Awful.
Okay.
It went by so slow, just incredibly slow. By
Mm.
Wednesday, I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, What's going on? Why does it feel like it's been 2 weeks?"
Yeah.
It was
Understandable.
it was insane. I was by the time Friday came around and it was like my work from one of my two work from home days, I was like,
Hmm.
thank God. And then even that day went by slow, and I was like,
Really?
yeah.
And you just started. I feel like when you just start a job, it's usually like busy.
I think because my job is so incredibly easy, like mind-numbingly easy, it's
Mm.
gotten to a point where like I'm not learning anything new, so it's just like going through the
Oh,
motions.
yeah. It's just repetitive at this point.
Like I have the most mind-numbingly easy job I've ever had in my entire life.
Man, I love that for you.
So yeah, I just need this week to go by fast because I'm seeing Mariah Carey in a couple of days, and that's all that matters right now.
It is.
Hmm.
You get to go see Mother. I'm so
Hmm.
happy for you.
Yeah. Also at work, a famous person's relative came up in some capacity that I can't mention.
Yep.
So that was a fun little thing that happened.
I think that was maybe the highlight of your week.
It was because the name came up, and I was like, wow,
Immediately.
what a funny coincidence. And
Yeah.
then it had that same thing where the initial,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
yeah, and I was like, that's funny. And then it
Is
just
that like a
kept bug
family thing that they do
I guess because it
at
kept
this point?
bugging me, and I was
Uh
like,
huh.
let me just look it up. I looked it up, and it was, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
okay,
Because like we were either like this is either way too obvious or there's no connection.
yeah, there was a
And
connection.
it yeah, there's a connection.
It was really weird for where this person lived. I was like,
Oh,
why do you
really?
live there? But whatever.
Dang, Jordan.
But yeah, it was great. It was funny. Me and my coworker who like sits next to me, we laughed about it for a little bit. And yeah, speaking of coworkers, I like all of my coworkers except for one of them.
I mean,
Like
I feel like there's always that one.
like literally, I can't even explain why. It's just every time she opens her mouth, I'm annoyed.
Oh my gosh.
I'm annoyed. I hate hearing the sound of her. The sound of her voice is grating to me.
Oh no. Is it like is there like a characteristic about it that's just annoying, or is it just like stuff that she
I
says?
I can't. All of the above. Like I can't put my finger on it. There's just some. It's just so annoying to me, and I'm not being misogynistic because literally, there's how many of us started? One, two, three, four, five, six. Six of us started, including me.
Mm-hmm.
There's two other girls. I love them perfectly fine. One
Mm-hmm.
of them is late every single day to work, but
Yes.
that's none of my business. But I like those other two girls well. Like they're fun. I sit next to one of them. We talk sometimes. It's
Mm-hmm.
great. It's just
Yeah.
that one girl. I don't like her. I don't.
To be fair
Like
though, there's always that one coworker
there's always
that
that one
just
coworker. But yeah, well, not fun for that.
no.
But and she doesn't necessarily sit next to me, but she sits like kind of like diagonal to me.
So she's
And so
close enough.
she's close enough that it's sucky.
Mm. Boo.
You know, she seems really like to be kind of bad at the job. Like it's taking her
Oh
forever to like
no.
catch. It's taking her forever to like catch on. So I'm hoping she'll like leave. But that's just like wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would be so lucky.
You would.
At my last job, I was lucky though. The guy who I didn't like, he ended up leaving fairly early.
Oh yeah, didn't he?
Yeah, and then he was torturing a whole nother department. We heard
Ouch.
back. We heard back like a year later.
Oh no.
Apparently, he was awful to work with, and I was like, yeah,
Oh
makes sense.
jeez. You're like, I knew that. Not
Yeah,
new.
not our problem anymore.
True.
Definitely not my problem now. But
Nope.
speaking of my old job, one of my coworkers from that job, the guy who like pretty much took over my job,
Mm-hmm.
he like texted me. He was like, "Yeah, so we're moving offices this week," and he showed me
Oh
all of the
shoot.
boxes of all of the crap they had to pack up, and I was like, "I'm
Oh
so happy
lord.
I left."
I can't
I was
even
like, I'm
imagine.
so like having to do the actual job and then also having to pack up everything to move to a different. I was like, I'm so happy I left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was not getting paid enough for all of that,
No, you were not.
and now I pretty much do nothing all day. So it's like great.
Yeah. Get a break.
I could have a nice break. It's not mentally stimulating at all, but it's a break. So, but yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. So are you ready to talk about this movie?
I guess.
This very interesting movie.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So this week we are talking about Elvis and Annabelle.
We sure are.
So we start this movie by seeing a body being put into a hearse and taken to a funeral home. And this funeral home is a very rundown home in the middle of nowhere where Elvis prepares his old baseball coach for burial. And when he's done with the body, he sticks a cigarette in the mouth. Well, not in the mouth, but on the mouth of the dead body and takes a picture of it and puts it in an album that he
Weirdo
keeps.
behavior.
Yeah, it's not
That's
normal.
weird. And then we literally turned to him putting this photo into a binder, not a binder, a photo album just
Album
full
of other
of
bodies.
pictures of other bodies. And I'm like, you're weird.
Yeah, I don't know if that's part of the embalming process or
It's
whatever. Take
not.
like, okay,
It's not.
okay.
The only photos that should be used are a photo of what that person looked like alive so that you can like make them look similar.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why you should be
Yeah,
taking photos of dead bodies.
yeah.
That might actually be illegal. I don't even know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, like, I know more than I should about the embalming process. um,
Okay, let's unpack that really quick. What do you mean?
no, only because my dad used to work in the morgue, so I know about the embalming process.
Say more.
What?
Say I'm intrigued now. What do you mean?
I mean,
Is
because
is your is your is your father a mortician and I didn't know this?
oh, he was a long time ago, but he would like bring up stories.
What a life.
Yeah,
What a
so like
pivot
in
too. What a
yeah,
pivot
right, right. Because
career-wise.
here's one in the and the big freezer where they keep the bodies before they take them out.
Mhm.
They put there's an axe always in the freezer, just in
For
case
zombies, yeah.
the well, that's what a lot of people say, but it's for in case the freezer locks on you when you go in there.
It doesn't have an opening on the inside, like a handle on the inside?
I don't know, but sometimes I guess it locked or it locks, and so
Why does it even need to lock?
I have no idea.
Who's stealing dead bodies?
I don't know. Oh,
I need to have a
also,
conversation with your father. Bring him in.
al-
I have
also,
questions.
um, they would moan
That absolutely not.
because there would still be like if you move them around, there would still be air in their lungs. So sometimes
Uh,
as the body settles, the air would escape and they would moan.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I would burn the entire place down if that happened. And I'm not even joking.
The more you know.
The second one of them made a single bit of noise, I would think a zombie apocalypse was happening and I'd burn down the entire place.
Jordan's preemptively grabbing the axe out of the freezer.
And then I would get arrested for like what is it? Proper
Desecrating.
improper disposal of a body, desecrating a body. I don't know. I
Something like
would
that.
something like that.
But yeah.
But we would be safe, and that's all that matters.
Jordan's like, I put the stop to it right at the beginning. So
Yeah,
if it was
I'm
going
a
to
hero.
become a problem, yeah,
It's not a problem now.
you should be thanking me.
Yeah, they were already dead.
Yeah. So who cares?
Who cares?
The next day, the funeral is held for the man, and the wife comes by to thank Elvis's father, Charlie, for the good work he's done. But Elvis says that he's preoccupied, but he's actually in the backyard playing golf.
Yeah. Also, playing "Take Me Out to the to the ball
Yeah,
game" at a funeral is
yeah.
crazy.
That's so wild to me, dude.
Like,
Like
why
I
that song? I get he liked
right.
baseball, but like,
And
what?
he was buried in a baseball uniform, which to begin with.
Uh,
But and like you can do whatever you want at your funeral because it's your
yeah,
funeral, but like really? Take me
really,
out to the ball game?
yeah,
I feel like that would just mess that song up for everybody for the rest of their lives.
yeah. Now you're associating that happy song with sadness.
Right. Now they can never go to a baseball game.
Hmm.
They're just triggered.
Next time I go to an A's or a oh, not the A's. Next time I go to a
Not the A's
Giants
anymore.
game. Next time I go to a Giants game, there will be like a whole section of people just crying.
They'd be like, "Oh, Grandpa loved this song.
Grandpa
Played
loves
it at
this
his
song.
funeral." Absolutely insane. Um, Next, we see Annabelle, Geneva, and Jimmy standing in front of Annabelle's pageant sign in town, trying to take a picture as Elvis and Charlie drive by on their way to the grocery store. Also, that's super embarrassing getting caught taking a picture in front of your own sign.
Kind of.
Yeah. I would not do that.
I'm sure they didn't notice, though. I'm sure they didn't notice.
Yeah, yeah. Also, you're driving, so you're going pretty fast by these people anyway, so you're kind of
You're
just like,
going pretty
oh,
fast. You're trying to like focus on the road. There's a
yeah.
small possibility they notice, but they probably didn't
Yeah, but who
notice.
cares? Yeah.
They'll forget
At
about
the
it in like
grocery
20 seconds.
They probably will. At the grocery store, Elvis and Charlie are getting what they need, and a group of teens make fun of Charlie. Um, Charlie walks with a cane, and he's got kind of a humpback, so they start making fun of him.
This is where I got confused. Did people know about Charlie or did they not know about Charlie? Because it seemed like he was trying to hide Charlie from everyone, but then he would take Charlie out and everyone seemed to know. And I was just like, what's all happening here?
See, you know what? I think it's one of those small town things where like Elvis would try to take Charlie out, but do it in like a quick manner and like during a day where not a lot of people are out, but people talk. And since it's a small town, like things just spread. So I'm sure like God knows whoever what they knew about Charlie.
They had to have known something.
Yeah. After the grocery store, they visit a bridge and throw flowers into the river below. Something to honor Elvis's mom.
Hmm.
We then see Annabelle at an airport getting a send off as she goes to another pageant. And while on the plane, she checks out her body and vomits because she has an eating disorder.
Oh, at first I thought she was pregnant, and I was like,
Oh,
oh.
no.
At first I thought she was pregnant until what happens later. Then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No. No. I mean, if she was pregnant, she would probably be a lot bigger or at least show a little something, I guess.
I mean, maybe it was like very early,
Oh,
and
very early on. Maybe.
she was like, "I'm gonna get fat." That's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
thinking she was on that plane, she was in that bathroom, and she thought she was pregnant,
Got
and
sick
that's
at the idea and threw up.
got got a little motion sickness,
Mm. I mean,
but
that would have been interesting.
it was much worse.
It was. That night, we see Elvis reading Charlie the story that he's been writing. And Charlie asks him when he's going to get a girlfriend and start having grandbabies. And Elvis is like, actually, good night, Dad.
Yeah,
I don't want to have this conversation.
stop asking your children that.
Yeah, can we? Can we
It's
please?
a
I don't care
weird,
what age your children are.
it's a weird question,
Yeah. It's basically, so when are you going to put yourself out there and have sex with somebody to give me
right?
children?
You want a child so bad, go make one yourself. Like,
Right.
leave me
Or you know
alone.
what? Go get yourself a dog,
Hmm.
something to preoccupy your time.
Yeah, watch this dog and see how you feel.
Right. Right. I mean, I've got a child. She's a dog. I'm trying to convince my parents that she's a grandbaby. It
Hmm.
might work one day.
My mother would be lucky if I even got a dog. Like, quite honestly, I love my independence and my peace too much. I might not even get a
That is
dog.
true. That is true. Because once you do get a dog, you're like, oh, I can only be out for a couple of hours before I gotta go home.
Right.
But see,
I want to go
Jordan,
on a
that's the perfect excuse if you want to leave somewhere.
I want to go on a trip. I have to
Oh,
find somewhere to
yeah,
put the dog.
yeah, that is true. Fair,
We have to
and that's
take our
expensive.
when we want to go on a trip, we have to take our dog all the way to where's that place? Tracy, Modesto? I don't even know.
What?
Because our dog is so wily, we have to take him to like a certain place that will take him.
Dang. I mean, he is kind of crazy, so
He's
I get
crazy.
it. He's crazy. Okay. We then see Annabelle and Geneva work on her look for the evening before the pageant starts. And as Annabelle gets ready, Jimmy, her stepfather, Geneva has left the room, by the way. She's going to go look for curling iron. Jimmy asks for a hug from Annabelle, and it's very awkward, and
Yes.
it feels icky. This whole thing feels so icky.
Very weird.
Um, feels very sexual abuse, kind of icky.
Hmm. I felt uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, very uncomfortable. And after Jimmy leaves, we see Annabelle standing on the balcony, and it looks like she's contemplating jumping.
Yeah.
At the pageant, after Annabelle has gotten all dolled up, her and her mother look forward to the freedom that they'll get if she wins, which she's going to be winning. What did they say? $50,000 as a scholarship or something.
Oh, I quite literally don't remember. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
There is some lump of money that you can win from this pageant, and her mother's really banking her on winning so that she can, I guess, save the family and get
They
freedom for her and her mom.
they obviously don't know how scholarships work. Like you don't get to
Yeah.
just keep that money.
Yeah, no, you have to have a specific place I think is going.
Yeah.
You never really see it. It just
Y-
gets sent to wherever you're going.
Yeah.
Um but even her mom knows that Jimmy is a creep. So
Yes. Jimmy's weird.
why did you marry him in the first place? Uh um But the pageant starts, and Annabelle goes through all of the stages of a pageant, the swimsuit thing, the talent, the questions. I don't know what else goes on.
Why was she singing if she sounded like that? It was like off key.
Yeah, she wasn't great. She wasn't great. Maybe the others just really sucked,
Had to have.
or maybe she had better scores than everything else but talent,
All right, and it made up for the singing
and it
because
made up for the yeah.
that singing was
It wasn't
pitchy.
great. Yeah, it wasn't great. And she goes for opera, girl.
Hmm.
What a what a bold move.
I don't know what year this movie came out, but like sing a Taylor Swift song.
Dang. Um, so after all of that, she is named the winner. She is now Miss Texas Rose. And as she celebrates with the crowd, she falls over. Um, on the news that night, Annabelle's death is announced as a heart attack due to an eating disorder.
That was insane. That they like
Yeah.
outed her eating disorder on the news. I
No,
was
for
like,
real.
that was not necessary. You could have just
It
said heart
wasn't.
attack.
Right. Or you could have just said, her death or whatever, she died on stage.
Yeah,
You didn't have to say cardiac arrest due to an eating
an eating
disorder.
disorder. That's insane.
Ah. Um, but anyway, Elvis sees the news on the TV that Charlie has left on, and he takes his father to bed. Sometime later, we see Geneva and Jimmy at Moreau's funeral home as Elvis takes the meeting with them instead, because he's trying to keep up the facade that his dad is working the funeral home when it's actually him.
Yeah, because he doesn't have his. I guess you have to have a license
A
to embalm
license.
people. He doesn't have it. Why he doesn't go get it? Who
Mm-mm.
knows? But
Yeah, I don't
he
know
doesn't
what it
have it.
takes, so I can't say.
You have to go to mortuary school. Ask your dad.
Maybe I'll ask him later. Um, that night, Elvis brings in Annabelle's body, and as he preps his instruments, he looks at her and realizes she's really beautiful and goes to kiss her.
Disgusting. Um,
Ah,
so gross. Also,
very.
let's backpedal a little bit. Her mom says that they want to like cryogenically freeze her, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
that's fine, whatever. But why are they embalming her then?
I
Like,
think
do they
because he
not under
mentioned it. I don't know.
do they
'Cause
not
I
understand
don't
what an
think the
embalmment
stepfather
is?
wanted to do it. I don't
He didn't
know.
want to do the cryogenic freezing.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Okay,
think that's why they brought her
okay, because
because that's expensive.
if you're gonna do that, embalming her
Yeah,
would make
yeah, they
sense.
replace everything. Yeah,
But okay, cool.
yeah. Um, and as he kisses her, the camera goes off, and the window in the embalming room gets blown open. So as he goes to close the window, Annabelle just wakes up on the table and freaks out, which
Hmm.
freaks Elvis out, and he calls the police. Elvis then goes to wake Charlie because Charlie is supposed to be the one that's doing the embalming and tells him what's going on and tells him what to say to the police when they show up. The next day, we see Charlie doing interviews with the media about Annabelle waking up, and other interviews are playing on TV as Annabelle recovers in the hospital. As Annabelle leaves, she is surrounded by press, and every camera shot brings blurry memories of Elvis and her in the embalming room.
Yeah.
Back at their house, Annabelle is doing, I guess, press stuff. She's like getting pictures done, and Geneva's scheduling interviews with people. And Geneva's super excited about all the press. But Annabelle very much is not. She's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Which is
Mhm.
fair.
Fair. I would be in a mood too if I had died and came back to life, so I
No,
understand.
same. Because you're forcing me to come back to this. No, I'm just kidding. um, we then see Elvis embalming another body when Annabelle shows up looking for Charlie, wanting to ask him questions about her waking up, but he says he's busy, and so she leaves. Annabelle is then mobbed by press when she gets home and bypasses meeting whatever doctor her parents are speaking to because they're concerned about Annabelle saying that she's acting differently than usual. And she says she's done with the press and doesn't want to do any more interviews, despite Geneva having scheduled her to do some more. That night, Annabelle has a nightmare about her death, and in the middle of the night, rides her bike up to the Moreau's funeral home. She gets into the house somehow and finds the embalming room where she lays down on the table and tries to remember what happened when Elvis walks in on her. Annabelle tries to explain that she's trying to remember what happened when she came back to life when Charlie comes in. She tries to ask him questions, but Elvis tries to cover since he doesn't have his embalming license. So Charlie just says that she woke up on the table and that was it. Elvis walks Annabelle out, but since it's the middle of the night, he lets her stay until it's morning.
Insanity.
Yeah,
I'm not letting someone who
yeah,
broke into my house stay in my house.
yeah, no. Elvis cooks her breakfast and it's super awkward. And when she goes to leave, Annabelle says that she can't go home since the attention is getting to her, and begrudgingly, Elvis lets her stay in a room upstairs.
Even worse.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
Maybe he
choice. A
feels
choice
bad.
I wouldn't make, but a choice
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Um, at the same time, Geneva doesn't find Annabelle in her bed. Charlie and Annabelle are in the back playing golf, and she tries to talk about her waking up, but the story keeps changing. And so Elvis comes out and says that his father's memory isn't the greatest. Then they all play golf together, and after, Annabelle asks what happened to Charlie, and Elvis tells her that he was hit in the head with a beer bottle, and he assumes that it was one of her friends that threw it, which it wasn't, but he's just making assumptions about her being the popular cheerleader girl.
Mhm.
Annabelle and Elvis struggle to be friends and talk about like what's going on with everything, but since he has to keep a secret about, Charlie and her waking up, it's just awkward all around. We then see Geneva having a breakdown watching old pageant videos of Annabelle as her stepfather just keeps drinking.
Mhm.
Annabelle finds paint in the garage and starts to paint Elvis's house because she's like, this place is a dump and somebody needs to fix it, and so I will. Um, and that night, she sees Elvis reading to Charlie again. Annabelle visits the embalming room again and is caught by Elvis, and she tells him that she gets dreams and flashbacks of what happens and she needs to know. But he still doesn't tell her.
Nope.
She then sees a photo of his mom and he begins to tell her a little bit of what happened about how his dad, excuse me, um, he always was a hunchback, but she like loved him. But then he changes the subject and they go watch TV instead. The next day, Annabelle gets back to painting the house, and Elvis finally decides to help her out, and Charlie watches them as they bond. The next day, Elvis shows her the paper, and it shows that she is missing and that the police are looking all over for her. And she says no one would find her here, and Elvis is insulted for some reason.
My My whole thing about this whole storyline about her hiding, she knows she could just call the police and say she's okay, right? Like, she doesn't have to even tell them where she is. She could just be like, I'm fine. She's over 18, right?
I have no idea. I have no idea how old she is. Because if she's a minor, then she would have to go home.
Yeah, she would have to go home. But I'm getting the feeling that she's over 18.
Because I don't know how old you can be to, you know, participate in pageants and get scholarships. Like, I don't know how that works.
I know nothing
Because I mean,
about
it sounded
pageants.
like they just either graduated from high school been or they've been out for a while. So I don't know.
I'm gonna guess that they've been out for a while.
Okay. As they paint the house, Annabelle sees the empty field and decides she wants to plant something in it. But Elvis is like, dude, nothing grows out there but weeds. And she's like, no, I've made up my mind. Let's go to town to get some seeds. So when she's at the store, she's almost spotted, but she tells the worker that she's Charlie's niece and she's helping him plant some stuff in his field. Back at the car, Elvis spots Annabelle's stepfather and she hides and she's like, you don't know who he is until like he's had a few drinks in him, which suggests that he's abusive and an
Exactly.
alcoholic.
Hmm.
At the house, Annabelle struggles to get the tractor working, but gets it to work and starts to plant the seeds as Elvis paints the house. Charlie and Elvis at the house wonder what she's going to plant because she didn't tell them anything. But Charlie decides to keep an eye on her as Elvis paints the house. The police then show up and ask about Annabelle. And they say, we haven't seen her. And when he asks about the person working out in the field, they say it's somebody that they've hired and that they're just working out in the field. And Charlie comes up with some wild story. And the police officer's like, yeah, okay, whatever you say, and just leaves.
Hmm.
Elvis then talks to Annabelle about the cop and he worries about what'll happen when someone recognizes her, but she is so nonchalant about this whole thing.
She's like, it's fine.
She's like, no, it's fine. Like we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's fine. Later that night, when Elvis is telling his father goodnight, Charlie asks if he's going to marry Annabelle and starts to get really emotional because it's just been them for a long time. And Elvis reassures him that he's going to take care of Charlie no matter what. Annabelle then comes out wearing one of his mother's old dresses and she asks about his writing. And they decide to go for a walk instead of going out to any town nearby because he's like, you're going to get recognized and I don't want to deal with that. So Elvis takes her to the bridge where his mother committed suicide.
Yeah, weird.
Very romantic. um, and tells her that his father wasn't really the same after his mom died, and especially after the accident with the bottle. As they look at the stars, Annabelle says that for every terrible thing that's ever happened to her, something good has always happened and it's always balanced out.
That's just how life
As they
works. Like, yeah, yeah. Good things will happen
Yep,
to you. Bad things will happen to you. That's how life
that's
works.
life. Yeah. Um but as they talk, Annabelle kisses Elvis, but she has a flashback and she pulls away confused. And
Hmm.
Elvis is hurt, saying that she's just playing with him. They then see the
Mm.
police driving toward the house and rush back to see Charlie talking to them. They go in after the police leave, and Charlie says that he admitted that Annabelle was there, but that she had run off in some car that they had on the property. And Elvis is like, we don't have an extra car on the property. And Charlie straight up's like, the police don't know that.
Right down on it.
They don't know that. So Charlie convinces Elvis to go take Annabelle to the next town because she says she knows somebody that she can stay with there. On the drive, Annabelle starts crying and admits that she's had a lot of fun with him and his family. And now she's realizing that she hasn't really lived her life. I mean, you're like 18, 19. You haven't really lived life, so it's okay.
No. Right.
It's okay.
You're fine.
You're fine.
I
Don't
haven't
forget
really
about it.
lived life, and I've done a lot of stuff.
Right, me neither. So, Annabelle asks Elvis if he's ever considered suicide and asks him to promise to call her if he considers it. And he brushes her off. He's like, "You don't really care about me,
What a weird
whatever."
thing to bring up to someone. But
Yeah. I mean, all of
uh,
their conversations are a little weird anyway,
very
if I'm being
weird.
honest. We then see the police at Annabelle's house the next day, explaining to the parents that she's run away from the Moreau place, but Geneva is convinced that she was there. And they're like, "We don't have a warrant to search the house, so we can't do anything about it." Um, Later, we see Elvis pulling over, and Annabelle takes the car over from him and won't let him back in until he apologizes for being a jerk last night.
She threatens
And
to
she
leave
takes,
him.
yeah, she
She
does.
threatens to leave with my car. Girl, when I got back in that car, I would drag you back to the police station myself.
He's like, "I'm locating the nearest police station and I'm dropping you off." Okay.
Hmm.
But she drives around on the beach and like asks him to loosen up.
Right? She's like, I want to go to the beach. Which, by the way, not to shit on Texas too much. Um, but I would rather grab sand, rub it together between my hands to make glass, than to go to the beach in Texas.
I've never been to Texas, so I can't say anything.
I went once. It was gross. It smells so weird,
Ew.
and also the water's like brown.
Ew, why is it brown?
I have no idea, Kelly.
That's so concerning.
It's very
Why is it
concerning,
brown?
very gross. I was not a fan.
Texas, why is your water
Granted,
brown?
I did not go to South Padres Island. I went to Galveston, but that's neither here nor there.
Is there a difference?
They're in different places.
Okay.
I can't really describe it.
Okay.
Like, I think South Padre Islands is more like west than Galveston. I don't really know. I don't really care. It
Okay.
doesn't really matter.
If we have
uh,
Texas in the chat, can somebody tell us, what's up with your beaches?
why do they smell weird? Why is your water that color?
Yeah, what's up with that? That
Was I
doesn't
like
seem
was I
natural.
like swimming around in like oil or something? Please tell me I wasn't swimming around in oil.
And if he was, please keep it to yourself.
Yeah, please don't ever tell me that.
Don't tell him. Just, either lie to him or just don't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. We then see them go to a thrift store and try a bunch of clothes on and eventually steal them and run away. And Annabelle kisses Elvis in an alleyway. And then we get a montage of them going to a carnival and having fun. Looks like they go to an aquarium at one point, but they're just out there living life. Geneva then goes to the Moreau place, and when she isn't able to get anybody to answer the door, she walks around the house. How are people getting into this house, by the way?
I'm guessing they just don't lock doors.
I guess.
I'm guessing in
I
like the
mean,
little mortuary place down there, they have like a door that just goes like straight outside and they just don't lock it.
I guess. I mean, they do live in the middle of nowhere, but I feel like that would make me lock my doors even more
Even more.
because if somebody does get in my house, like, where the hell did you come from?
Right? Where did you come from? Why are you out here?
Right. You
Like
shouldn't be out
you
here.
being out here uninvited is not for good reasons.
Yeah, I know.
So absolutely not.
As she walks around the house, she finds Annabelle's clothes. And when she gets to the embalming room, she finds the picture that was taken of Elvis kissing Annabelle. And she calls the police when Charlie finds her.
I would burn that place to the ground after finding that photo. Like, what goes on here?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to know. We then see Annabelle spending time at the beach. Well, Annabelle and Elvis spending time at the beach, and at one night she asks him well, Elvis asks her about what she'll do about like the pageant and if she wants to continue doing that, but she doesn't want to talk about it. So they talk about him instead and his writing.
They never talk about her. Ever.
Yeah, she never wants to talk about her.
She never wants to
And
talk about herself.
that always makes me think that she's like gone through some awful stuff, but they never explain it.
I never explain it.
So instead, Elvis tells her that he wants to be a writer, but chooses to be a mortician because it's a family tradition and it's the business. So he has to keep it running to keep the house for him and his dad. Elvis then goes to kiss her, but she pushes away, saying that she gets like weird deja vu about it. The next day, Elvis and Annabelle go into town and get gas, and Annabelle goes into the store. And the attendant recognizes them both from the picture that's in the newspaper of Elvis kissing Annabelle's dead body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when she gets back to the counter, the attendant kind of subtly, quote unquote, has the article on the table so she can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and at the same time, Elvis sees it outside in one of those newspaper stands. And when she comes out, she can't believe what she's done, and he tries to explain what happened as the police show up and arrest him.
Yeah, being called a necrophile is something you just can't come back from.
You
Be-
can't. You really can't.
like, you will never be able to be a mortician again, ever.
Or anything, really.
And then, like, how do you combat those? Like, how do you combat that when there's like pictures of you making out with a dead body?
Yeah, there's actual evidence
Like,
that
that you can't come back from that. I'm so sorry.
Mm-mm. You'd have to be put in witness protection, put into like a different country.
You'd have to change your name,
Mm-hmm.
move.
Mm-hmm.
Your name is sullied at this
Yeah,
point.
you can never come back.
No.
Um, so at the police station, Elvis is then interrogated about the album that he has, um, of the pictures of bodies that he's taken previously, and then specifically about the one about Annabelle. On TV, Annabelle and her family watch the news coverage of Elvis when she finally remembers what happened, that Elvis kissed her and like whatever.
Mhm.
Um, when the press show up, Annabelle runs away as we see Charlie just playing by himself in the rain. He's playing golf by himself.
Let the rain fall down. It's gonna rain here next week. I think it starts on.
Same.
I think it starts on like Tuesday. Let me see.
My It'll be here Thursday and Friday.
Oh, it's not. It
Oh
moved.
wait, what?
It's gonna be Wednesday now. Boo.
Oh really?
Hmm.
Ooh. But yeah, we're gonna get
Wait,
rain too Thursday.
it better not be raining in.
Oh,
Oh
LA?
no.
Probably not.
Oh no. It's supposed to rain in
Oh, but
LA
on
on
your
Friday.
drive.
It's gonna rain on my
It's what?
drive. It's gonna rain on my drive.
Ah, damn.
That sucks.
That's gonna suck, dude. I'm so sorry.
I hope it's not snowing in the Grapevine. That would be horrific.
Oh
I have
shoot.
never driven in the snow before.
Oh,
Uh,
me neither. That's gonna be awful.
oh, that's gonna be awful. I don't know how to drive in the snow.
Oh.
How do tire chains work? I don't know how the fuck that works.
I don't even know how you put those on
How do you put those on? Where do you buy them?
or how much they are.
How
Right.
much are they? If they're required on a road, do you get them for free?
They
I
probably jack the prices up if
I
I'm
feel
being
like if it's
honest.
I feel like it because sometimes when you're driving up to Tahoe, they're like snow chains required. Is it free
Mm-hmm.
then?
I
It
don't
should be
even know how that
free.
works.
It should be free. If you're requiring me to
You're
have
right.
something, it should be free,
And then what's the difference between snow tires and tire chains? Like, do you need both or one
right?
or the other?
One or the other. I
Help.
don't know. We're just gonna play it by ear. It's just gonna happen,
Yeah.
and whatever happens, happens.
We're just a bunch of Californians who visit the snow.
Yeah,
We visit. We
we
don't.
go to the snow. You
Yeah,
know,
we go to the snow.
we
The
go
snow
to the
doesn't come to us. We don't live it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I'm not about that life.
um, we then see Annabelle at the police station, and she confronts Elvis, and she tells him that she's not going to press charges. And he says, and she tells him that he can go and take care of his father when he gets out, but she wants to know the truth. Like, she has to know. Elvis then says that she's just like everyone else. I don't know how that argument stands.
He was gaslighting the hell out of her. She was like, I just want to know what's happening. And he was just like, you just treat me like everyone and blah, blah, blah. It was like,
Oh my
sir,
lord, like,
calm
bro,
down.
just either say yes or no. That
What
wasn't
happened?
necessary.
I just need to know a simple question. Just answer my
Right.
simple question.
And the answer is simple, if we're being honest. And Annabelle is done with him. She's like, I'm sick of your victim act, and goes to leave when he confesses that he thought she was really beautiful and he just kissed her and the photo was an accident. And he felt embarrassed to tell her. Annabelle then has a freak out about like this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And tells him that after all of this, he doesn't like believe in miracles because she literally came to life on his table. She leaves and Elvis is released, and as he's being taken back to Charlie finishes his golf game alone. And when Elvis arrives, Charlie has fallen over and has died.
Yeah, he just fell over and died.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to him, but he's dead now.
And then Elvis starts weirdly like yelling for help, and I'm like, there's no one near you.
I mean, when he was dropped off, there was the press there, so.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were
Okay.
at the house, and so that's why he was screaming for help.
What are they gonna do?
I
They're just
don't
gonna
know,
take
man.
photos of your father's dead body. Like,
That's
it's
awful.
the press. Please.
Yeah. We then see the EMTs take Charlie away. Days later, Elvis gets a call to pick up his dad's body, and this is awful. He has to embalm his own father.
They didn't take away all
Like,
his embalming stuff. That's
I
crazy.
I don't even know, dude.
Like, the
I
first
don't
thing
even
I would
know.
do after finding those photos is take all of those chemicals out. Take all of
Yeah.
that, I don't know.
All of the equipment.
I don't know what that, like, suction-y thingy was. Take that out. Take
Oh,
out the
so
table.
that just sucks the blood out and replaces it with something else.
Disgusting. Take that out. Any dead bodies that happen to be in his freezer or whatever, take those out.
Take those, yeah.
Just would have cleared house. Like, he would have came back and it just would have been shiny metal.
Empty.
Empty.
Yeah. Yep. But he has to embalm his own father. The media continues to bother Elvis. As Annabelle watches her stepdad like live up life. He's like drinking in the pool by himself.
He's like, this is great.
Yeah, life's great.
My stepdaughter was kissed without her consent while she was deceased.
Dead, yeah.
And she's very fine with that.
Ew. I just don't like her father at all. That man needs to go to jail for something.
Yeah, just throw him in. I'm sure he's done something.
He's definitely done something. One day, as Elvis goes to make himself food, he sees a rope in the cabinet and contemplates suicide as his father's funeral comes and goes, and he's the only one that attends. Annabelle then starts a bath for herself as Elvis sets up his rope and goes to hang himself. As he's standing on the chair, the wind blows open the shutters, and behind him he sees the field has blossomed with the sunflowers that Annabelle has planted.
Mm-hmm. It's only been like what, a week?
And I don't know.
And there are full-on sunflowers. It just sprouted in the back.
It's a miracle, Jordan. It's a miracle.
It's something. Also, he took his name to heart. He took his name Elvis to heart. He was like, I'm also going to die in a bathroom. Like, it's great. Love that for him.
Elvis was in a bedroom. Annabelle was in the bathroom.
He was in a no. He was in a bathroom. I saw a tub, Kelly. I swear
I saw a
I saw a
bed
tub.
in there. What the heck?
Where he was in a bathroom, whatever. It doesn't
Whatever.
even
Either
really
way.
matter.
Um, as he's looking at the sunflowers, the chair that he's standing on breaks, and he starts to hang himself. Well, unintentionally hang himself. Um, and he fights to find something to stand on, and
Hmm.
eventually is able to get himself free.
Yep, he does it. Also, that
He
was a very loose rope for someone trying to hang themselves. Like there was a
I mean,
lot of.
it wasn't loose enough for him to not be able to choke himself.
I mean, before he started choking, he looked that way. Like I feel like it was so loose. Like if he had like stepped off of the thing, his head just would have fell through the hole.
Oh jeez.
I think they just made it look tighter when he was like actually quote unquote choking.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like when he was first standing up there, I was like, that's a lot of
It looked
space.
really loose. He goes he goes to step off, his head just slips
His
through.
head just slips through the hole. He's like, oh,
If I
wow.
if that ever happened to me, like if I ever did, and I jump off expecting to be choked and I just land on my ass, I think I would just laugh so hard and be like, I'm not gonna kill myself anymore.
Actually, that might make me more determined. Actually, I would just be like, "Whoa,
No, it
uh,
seems like it's like those stories that you hear of people like calling a suicide hotline and then getting the hold
getting on
signal.
hold."
And they're like, you know what? I'm not even gonna do it
Right,
anymore.
forget about it.
Like I feel like that would be
Like
me. Like I can't even do it right.
this is more of a sign than someone telling me not to do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Like me falling through my own noose that I'm trying to put on myself, I would have been like, you know what?
You know what?
It's fine.
I'm going to bed.
I'm going to bed. And in the morning, I'm just gonna go get Starbies and get over it.
Right.
Like
Because
I
obviously
don't know
God
why that
has a
was so
weird sense of humor. So I am
yes.
going to bed.
Oh. So then once Elvis gets himself together, he goes outside to the press as Annabelle goes to commit suicide by putting the little TV that she has beside the tub into the water.
That's insane. Like, why would you choose electrocution?
Yeah.
Mm,
Like I thought she was gonna drown herself, but when she stopped the water, I'm like, there's so little water in there that I'm like, how is she ever gonna? And then I saw the TV, and I was like, oh,
let's not do
okay.
that.
So she puts
That
her.
will not be a graceful fall asleep. That will be a very
No,
painful.
that'd be very painful. Yeah, like drowning, burning alive. I feel like those would be awful ways to go out, and the fact that she wants to like drown and as she's getting electrocuted to death.
Hmm.
I'm good.
No, well, thank you.
No, thank you. But as Annabelle tows the TV closer and closer to the edge, um, she hears the news that Elvis is painting something on his house, so she immediately gets up and looks at it. And he has painted "I love you, Annabelle" on the house.
Weird, but yeah.
After after Elvis has done all that, he goes into the sunflower field and lays down in it. And after a while, Annabelle shows up and lays with him. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's such a non-ending ending. Like, what?
Yeah.
There's so much
Yeah.
left, like,
There's
unanswered.
so much left. Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of the movie.
I guess.
Um there are no movie facts for this that I could find.
This is your second movie in a row without movie facts.
Dude, seriously, all I could find for like things that were like either movie facts or things about the movie. It's literally just about the cast. It's about like continuity errors, and I'm just like,
That's boring.
that's not really a
Okay.
movie fact or
Yeah.
anything. Like, like I think there's like a whole article about like, or at least like 50% of an article that was like talked about when Annabelle shows up to the Moreau house the first time. The first time, if you look at her feet, she's wearing slippers when she gets off her bike. And then in a different shot, she's wearing house slippers, like fuzzy house slippers. And then she goes back to the slippers and then back to the fuzzy slippers. And I'm like,
Now that's a
okay.
miracle.
That's a miracle. So yeah, there are no movie facts about this movie.
Perfectly fine.
So Jordan,
Uh-huh.
uh here's the question.
Hmm.
Is this movie iconic?
Oh, absolutely. No. It's not iconic at all.
Yeah, it's not.
It didn't need to be made. If I'm being quite honest, what was the point
It
of this
was a
movie?
it was a very interesting storyline.
I
Like
don't even think that.
I
I didn't think
well,
this
I mean it in a
didn't
way
need to
that's
be
like,
made.
how did this get picked up? That's what I mean. I'm like, interesting. Like, who saw this and was like, I would love to see this on a big screen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
weird.
So yeah, sorry, Elvis and Annabelle, but you are not iconic.
Yeah. Also, what's her name? Blake Lively? Is that her name?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Um, she seems to have a very limited range of acting. Because what's the
Okay.
difference between her role in this movie, her role in what was that movie? The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, her
Mm.
role in Gossip Girl. What's the difference? It's all the same person.
She's kind of been typecast, yeah.
She even in that shark movie she's in, the same person. They just give her a different name and a different backstory, but the character is the same person in all of these movies. At least in the age
She
of
is
actually not even in the age of Adeline. In the age of Adeline, she's still the same person.
yeah, backstory, beautiful
She
woman,
she has
falls in love.
no acting range at all.
Hmm.
It's sad.
Or she really does know her range and she sticks to
She
it.
just sticks to it.
Which I you know what, I'm not mad at it.
I'm not
You
mad at that
know?
either. Like, get your bag however you want, but
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that she just plays the same person over and over and over again.
And yet we still eat it up, dude.
I mean, she's not hurting for cash. She's
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 not.
she's married to Ryan Reynolds. She's fine.
Yeah, she's good.
But yeah, not iconic.
Okay. Okay, Jordan, what are your recommendations this week?
Okay, I have four. I'm sorry. I needed to add stuff.
Okay.
First one is "Moment of Your Life" by Brent Faiyaz featuring Coco Jones. Great song. Love it.
Okay.
I listened to it like 5 times this week. I love that song.
Oh jeez.
Their voices like men like go together so well. It was a great song. Really love it.
Okay.
My next ones. This is going back a couple of weeks, but there was a strike, y'all. Fall of the House of
Yeah.
Usher on Netflix. Great show. Really enjoyed it. I feel like it's been long enough so that I can spoil this. Lenore
Okay.
did not deserve to go out like that.
Hmm.
Didn't deserve what happened. I'm so sorry. Everyone else, I don't care. Those were all awful people. Lenore did not deserve that. I was hoping there was going to be a
Okay.
storyline where like she was like adopted or the mother had an affair or something, so she wasn't actually a usher.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, she was, and so she had to die, and it made me very upset.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um, what number is it? Three. Third recommendation: Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV. Great show. It's great. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Um,
Love that.
Brie Larson, I think she suffers from the Blake Lively effect. She plays the same character in all of her stuff, but
Yeah,
it
I can see that
it
actually.
works for her, so it works for me.
Okay.
I enjoy the story, so that's all that really matters. And then my last recommendation is the Marvels. Everyone go watch the Marvels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really enjoyable time. Um, I need to. I'm still slightly confused on what um Captain Rambeau's, like Monica Rambeau's powers are. She seems to have her own powers, but also some of the powers of Captain Marvel. It's a little confusing, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I enjoyed the movie nonetheless.
Hmm.
So yeah, everyone go watch that.
Okay.
What about you, Kelly?
Okay, so I have three recommendations. My first one is Loki season 2 on
Oh,
Disney Plus.
I have something to say.
Oh, what?
I have something to say. I didn't really
What?
care. I didn't really I
Really?
didn't really care for it. I'm so sorry. I was kind of bored most of the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch the last episode?
Yeah, I watched last episode.
Okay.
I was bored most of the season.
Oh, okay.
Uh, uh,
I loved the season.
I
I
know
loved it.
everyone else loved it. I thought it was okay. But I also felt the
Okay.
same way about season one. I was like, this was okay.
Okay.
I had the same problems with season one. I was bored most of it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm more invested in it because I know more about Norse mythology and what like everything else. So I think I'm more excited about it. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the season. I love the ending.
I
Kind
watched
of made
the,
me sad.
I watched the entire thing. I,
Not into it.
I mean, I didn't hate it. But I didn't think it was amazing. I just thought it was okay.
Hmm. Okay. Fair.
I still think that
Um.
WandaVision is the best MCU show we've gotten.
Really.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My second recommendation is The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I watched this a while ago, but I obviously couldn't talk about it.
Yeah. I
Um,
watched
but
the season finale, series finale with her.
yes, yeah, because I think I had like 2 episodes left when Jordan and our friend visited. So, and they had already seen it. You've seen it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they've already seen it, and so I just last watched the last two with them. I really loved that show, so go check out The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Hmm.
And my last recommendation is Doja Cat's Scarlet album. I know a lot of people either hated it or loved it.
I didn't
So,
listen to it. If
oh, you
I
didn't? Okay,
No, I didn't listen to it.
it's different than her last album, but like I like the songs that are on there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
go check it out.
Cool. So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're both at SY2IA Podcasts. Also, don't forget to send us your movie requests or your movie stories at our email, sy2ipodcast@gmail.com. You can send us regular movies.
Yes, you can.
Again. Yay.
I'm so excited.
Screw independent movies, to be honest.
Sorry, but we've done way too
We've
many.
done way too many.
We're over it.
At our email, sy2ipodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to share us with your friends and your family and subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Um, Everyone have a good week. Um,
Yeah.
Everyone get started on those Thanksgiving plans. Like Thanksgiving is right around the corner.
Oh yeah, we've already started planning our menu and stuff like that.
Good, 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 good. I've I've done my what I do every year. I've done my pre-Thanksgiving talk to everyone. I'm like
Okay.
like where I'm just like we need to start getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm gonna have to go into our what is everyone making for
What is everyone bringing?
Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I do this every year.
Yeah, you do.
Every year someone
Are you bake?
tries. Am I what?
Oh, what? Say. Oh no, no. Go ahead.
Every year someone tries to bring up my aunt tries to be like, can we do something different for Thanksgiving? And every year I shoot it down. Every year I'm like, absolutely not. I let you guys experiment on Christmas dinner. I'm not letting you
Not
change up
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. I'm so sorry.
We don't play with
I
Thanksgiving.
don't play about Thanksgiving. I'm Last year I didn't get the mac and cheese I wanted and I was pissed. So we're
No.
going by the book this year.
Yeah. Okay.
I Yeah. So what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna ask if you were gonna do what you always do this year, but you said you were still planning it, so
Oh, I'm probably just gonna make a peach cobbler.
okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. I graduated from
I
making
love that for you.
pumpkin pies to making peach cobblers now. So fun. I might make a pumpkin pie too. I'm the only person who likes pumpkin
Ooh,
pie in my family.
really?
Like the other people will eat it, but like they're like they don't really love pumpkin pie. They prefer when
Oh,
I make
interesting.
peach cobbler. I like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I make like a small version for yourself.
I might, yeah, I'll make like a little pumpkin tart.
Personal.
I'll make it for
Yeah,
myself.
cute.
Um, yeah, but that's it for us. Everyone have a good week and stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Bye.